Hello, welcome to Smileys. This is sort of a bonus episode / guest episode / like we're doing whatever comes to mind episode. So we're joined by Justin, who is actually not here in the spirit, and Derek from Derek and Justin's Epic Quest. Interestingly enough, we're not actually doing a Amazon episode today. This is a discussion of an old movie, which predates me by a few decades. Thankfully, it is everyone here by a few decades, so I don't feel too young. Now, I don't have very much to say. Basically, this is just an excuse to get drunk and talk dumb things for about an hour. So that's all it is, really. So hello, everyone. Hello, Mora. Hello, Justin. God damn it. Hello, Derek. I'm so used to Justin being here. I'm sorry. We all miss him very much. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. He wishes he could be here, and like you said, he's here in spirit. So, yeah. I think he's very interested to hear how this goes once we're done. So I'll let him know.
I hope he watches though. I mean, he's seen the movie, right?
I do, yeah, because he's left us a summary that we've not actually heard. Only Derek knows. So we're going to be pleasantly surprised. One hopes.
I mean, so anyway, hi. Just full disclosure, I read the book also before I watched the movie.
More came prepared.
Yeah.
They made a book out of that movie?
Oh my God.
Apparently.
I'm just kidding.
Right. So, shall we just start off with his summary, or how do you guys want to do this? Oh, before that, 1 second. What was your impression about the movie? Derek, what did you think of the movie? I think this is your second time you saw it.
Second time I saw it. So do you want the first time I saw it or this time?
Let's have both.
So the first time I watched it, me and my wife watched it, and I mean, we got pretty drunk watching it because we're just like, what the hell are we watching? The second time I did appreciate it more, but I still like the ending of it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. The last half hour or so, it's just kind of like, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, visually, it's a quite a stunning movie. I think it holds up. I mean, obviously you can tell like the effects that they used and how they filmed it. What, it was, I guess, state of the art at the time, and it's not what we would consider, I guess, maybe usable or whatever term you want to use for that, acceptable. But I still think it looks awfully good for how old the movie is.
Yeah. I agree. You, Lee, what did you think?
So, in case it wasn't obvious, this is the first time I watched it. It's not even like, it's a movie so old that I don't even think my parents would know about it so much. So it's not like I've had any influences about it. So it's completely alien to me, just a movie. And I've heard of Kubrick before, obviously. And this movie is definitely delivers on my impressions from what I've heard of Kubrick. A lot of visual storytelling, state-of-the-art visuals and whatnot, and just a lot of effort and planning going into every scene. And also not making any goddamn sense. I legit turned my brain off at the last 30 minutes. Like, okay, yeah, this is happening now. I mean, it was an enjoyable 2.5 hours for what it's worth.
I was for the first time we watched it. And I guess even the second time, like you're watching this and it starts out in like the Stone Age or whatever. You're just kind of like, what the heck? And it was like 45 minutes of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was a bizarre movie. I don't know why I suggested this movie, anyways. But I didn't know you hadn't seen it, Lee. Justin had also never seen it, so I guess half of us.
Do you have Justin's first impression? What did he think of the movie?
I can give you his whole summary impression in like 2 sentences.
2 sentences. Okay, let's have it then.
He said he fell asleep and then he doom scrolled the rest of the movie.
He fell asleep and then?
He fell asleep, and then when he woke up, he was just scrolling through Twitter or TikTok or whatever he was scrolling.
Yeah,
So basically, he just hated the movie.
yeah. It's quite
I
understandable.
think
Yeah.
he was, he's like, every scene is just like 4 minutes of you just looking at one thing.
Did you
I
lose
think my
the
internet
book?
broke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries.
Oh, did I come back?
Yeah, no,
You're
you're
back,
still
you're
here.
back.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. I was talking, and I'm like, oh, you guys froze. I'm like, great, my internet took a dump again.
Right.
So
So
I'm not sure what you guys heard.
Yeah, we'll ask you about
I
like every scene was something, and then that's where it got off. Like something about Justin.
Yeah, he felt like every scene was just like 4 minutes of just like you're just staring at that scene. Which I kind of, I got that. I get that. But even like the second time I watched it, I kind of actually appreciated that because it just gives you a chance to look around and see everything. So, I mean, this viewing of the movie, my second time, I definitely, I didn't hate it like I did the first time. It was kind of nice to look around and kind of explore the movie.
in one way, the movie, it sort of follows the book exactly, and that is this long, slow sequences of pretty much just descriptions. There are so many descriptions of what's happening. All those things are just translated on screen. So it was very true to the book in those things. But otherwise, as a movie, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it that much. I mean,
No,
it was beautiful to look at, but by the end of it, I was so tired. And I tried so hard not to like look at my phone because I wanted to like focus on the movie.
yeah.
I didn't even
hard.
bother. I did not even bother.
I mean, he was
So
concentrating
that was Justin.
when he
Yeah.
was.
So he didn't tell me at what part he fell asleep at or anything like that, but I'll have to ask him. But
No, but it was hard to stay awake. The end, the acid trip sequences. Yeah, it was really
Oh
hard to
god,
stay
like
awake.
I don't even know. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Like, okay, I don't want to give the movie a bad rap because you can clearly see that both Kubrick and Clark, I think, is the author of the book, are going for
Obviously,
something.
Clark, yeah.
There's intention behind like every scene. It's just 2.5 hours of just that, and every scene dragged for like 20, 30, 40 seconds. At that point, it's done. Like, and then just the entire movie changes. You go from like the dawn of man to present day, and then 18 months from present day.
Not present day.
it's like
Okay,
3 million years in the
2001.
future.
It was set in
Okay,
2001.
you get the idea what like
in the
present day
60s.
is because yeah. And then just
18 months from that.
everything has like you can clearly see there's purpose to everything, which sounds a bit pretentious from me when we're doing like Kirkanas and then we're trying to deeply analyze everything, and I've just given up completely. But I think my internet has died. Okay, sweet. I don't know how much you got because my internet's like died a bit, but
No, we kept hearing you. You were just
okay.
slow.
Yeah, it's a bit pretentious of me to say that like I checked out of most scenes because there's too much going on when we're doing Kirkanas and like we're doing a very close reading. But after 2 hours of just this, I just mentally checked out, and then everything just started happening all together. And then there was an acid trip sequence for like 5 minutes, and then
Was it only 5 minutes?
checked
I
out.
thought it went on like 20 minutes.
I think it went for like really long because you start off and he goes like through the whole acid trip, and then he views Earth again, like from the beginning, what you saw, and then it goes like to the whole room sequence. Well, I don't even know what that is. And
the
also,
total room. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
there's
confusing.
3 minutes of black screen at the end and 4 minutes of black screen at the actually the other way around.
The
3
other
minutes
way,
of black
yeah.
screen at the beginning and 4 minutes of black screen at the end. And I was like, something is gonna happen. There's got to be a reason for this long black screen at the end. And nope, I just sat through 4 minutes of black screen with like blurry, grainy orchestral music playing in the background because it was fading out constantly. And then at some point, it just stopped bothering to actually upload it properly. Just you can go now. It's okay. It's at the end. The title card popped, and I just wouldn't because like there's something here clearly, but.
Nothing but disappointment awaited you.
No, in the sense, okay, the book makes a lot of sense. Like, it's not the I mean, the movie is supposed to stand on its own and explain all these things outright, but the book does a great job of explaining all these things. You guys are saying, right? All the acid trip things and all. These are like the. Why are you laughing? Oh, he paused. Did he pause the recording, or it's still going?
It's still counting.
Okay. So no, the monolith. Whenever they see it, the ape people and then the humans and all that. What it does is it changes their brain signals. Like it displays some, like the acid trip. It displays some stuff and records how the brain is reacting to it, and it's a way of administering a test to humans. So I thought that's what happened at the end. The acid trip thing was something which is supposed to like mess with our brains, the way the monolith would have messed with their brains. I think that was the intention behind it. But
Very sorry.
Yeah,
Interesting.
So yeah.
Oh, you missed the whole explanation part. Oh no.
No, it's okay. I mean, isn't that the point of the movie anyway? I'm sure I checked out when they were explaining things, so it only makes sense.
And even
Yeah,
the
from what I
hotel room
caught-
and all that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, from what little I got, like the book explains more things, and I think there's like a sequel of sorts, like what's called 2011 or something. But
I'm
then
not
I think it's
Oh.
2010, I think.
2010. Yeah,
that does further lifting in the explaining department. But frankly,
that's it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've not watched
No,
the
but
movie.
this book
I just
itself
looked it up.
does a good job.
I haven't seen it, but I would be curious to. I don't know where it's available to stream or anything, but
Oh yeah. Do you know there is a parody called 2001 Space
Yeah.
Travesty?
A Space Travesty. Yeah,
no.
yeah. I mean, apparently it's
They
starring
did
Leslie.
that.
Leslie. I can't pronounce the name. The guy from
Leslie
Naked Gun.
Nielsen? Yeah.
The guy from Dracula Dead and Love Again and Naked Gun. The guy that made parodies and looked like 80 years old at any point in his life. That guy.
No, but the trailer didn't look
But yeah.
that appealing, or I would have watched it today.
So we're going to have to do a follow-up and watch the parody then?
It wasn't that great, but
Oh,
yeah,
good God.
if we have to, we'll.
I mean, from what
I
I've
think
heard, it's a
let's
bit like
let-
juvenile and a bit crap, but I think it would be fun anyway.
Yeah. No, you know what? Just to be fair, let's let Justin decide the next one. Because poor fellow, he
Yeah.
not only did
Yeah.
he sleep
Yeah.
through this, he missed the recording also.
Yeah.
Let him pick something.
I would have been
Poor guy.
interested to hear his, he told me what he thought, but just, when we're talking and bouncing ideas and thoughts and everything off each other, what he would have been saying. So, yeah, it's a bummer he had to miss out, but it's just one of those things. I mean, you can't do
Yeah.
anything about it. So,
True. So, any other thoughts? What did you guys think of the music?
I
mean-
love the music.
Yeah, the
Yes.
music is like it's classical pieces, very excellently put together, and they mean something within the story. So that was neat. They don't see. It's difficult in modern movie making to pick existing pieces and then like write a story sort of around them. Usually, it's much easier within quotation marks. Some movies do it, some don't. To just compose an original piece to fit that particular scene. Kubrick did the opposite of where he took, existing pieces of music of like 200, 300 years old, and then he put them.
I know where you're
No?
going with this, Mora. I think I know.
No? Okay.
No, that's not what
No,
happened.
please interrupt.
He hired
Please,
a
no?
composer. He hired a guy, and then at the premiere, the guy found out that his music was not used.
Yeah, he never told him.
Dick move. He
Okay.
just scrapped the whole thing and then used all this classical music. So
All right.
that's what he did.
I stand corrected.
From what I had read,
Yeah.
because I found this. Well, like when we were first deciding on this topic, like shortly after that, I found this Twitter thread of like facts about the movie because it was like it was right around its like 55th birthday or whatever anniversary was. I don't remember, but so I was looking through that, and I jotted some of those things down that I had saw, but
Oh,
it said that the guy's name was Alex North, and he had
Yeah.
written an original score for the movie.
Yeah.
But from what it said, or how I interpreted the tweet, it said that Kubrick always planned to not use the music. So I don't know why you'd hire this guy to just
Sure,
waste his
it was-
time.
it was studio pressure, because they wanted original music for the sake of the movie. They thought that would, at the time, that was the trend, right? Like, one of the draws for a movie would be that it would have original score. So they pressured him into hiring this guy.
Oh, I feel stupid.
That's what I read. No. This is like not common knowledge, right?
I mean, I never would have known like any
I
of this
mean,
stuff.
I didn't know. To be fair, yeah. My research is not particularly deep, to be fair, but
That's okay. So we're just here to enjoy the movie. I mean, as much as we can, in spite of the acid trips.
yeah.
I guess people actually like would take acid before the movie.
Oh, is it? Is that a thing?
Yeah,
if I knew, I would have taken it. If I knew, I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe it probably gives you a different experience for the movie, I'm sure.
can't imagine. I mean, especially the last. Can you imagine the last scene on acid? That'd be an experience all on its own.
I mean, he actually texted saying that the color contrast in my TV is probably broken or something.
Yeah. I mean, I genuinely
last
believe it.
thing-
I was only half joking, and that's at some point because like 4 minutes into the movie, it was black screen, and there was barely any music playing. I'm like, hang on, it might be this is not working, and then like 2 hours into the movie, it starts buffering, and then the whole thing starts happening with like the intense color changes and the very severe color contrast. I'm like, holy shit, my TV just broke. What the fuck is going on? So yeah, that was my experience with
I think the
2001.
music was pretty good. Especially the initial sequence of docking, this space, whatever, the rocket which docks into the space station. And there is this waltz music for it. I thought that was very beautifully done, very apt. Like it has to match the rotation and then dock exactly. I thought the whole thing was really well done. The visual and the music. Yeah, that was enjoyable. Wish we had more of those and less of. Yeah. Any other like scenes which you enjoyed just visually?
For me, like in the beginning, for how much it didn't seem to make sense, like, well, I don't know, I guess the movie's like a journey through humanity and everything, but I thought the Jaguar attack, like, I don't know how they pulled that off, but it looked like real.
It was a real one. Yeah. I thought it was some trained pet jaguar or something, and this guy must have been like the handler. I mean, I assume, I didn't look it up, but it has to be a real guy and a real animal. It was not. I don't think they could have faked anything in that scene.
Yeah, it looked too good and too real, and I was just kind of like, man, how did they pull that off in those times? Because did some guy just draw the short straw and he's the one getting sacrificed and getting mauled to death, or what?
No, I don't know how strict the safety laws and all must have been there back then, right? So if the handler says, "Yeah, I let
That's a
my
good point,
jaguar
yeah.
pounce on my back," they
Not a
have
big
just
deal.
gone with it.
that sounds a bit iffy. But yeah, since we brought that scene up, there is at the very end of that when the chimp beats the fuck out of the other chimp with like a bone and then throws it up, and then he throws it up and starts spinning, and then there's a jump cut from the thing into the new spaceship, and that was just like
Yeah.
1968 jump cut. You cannot make that shit like that. Isn't CGI, right? Because there's no CGI at the time, so they had to mimic the shape of that thing that is currently flying through the air, presumably also a mock-up, and then make it into a spaceship. And that's just like, that's fucking cool. I was really impressed.
It's perfect,
and that was the
right?
first time I noticed this in another graphic. Like, holy shit, they actually went that far.
Yeah.
So
Apparently that's one of the most famous cuts in like movie history, and
yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine why.
I mean,
this
it just
came
leaped,
from that.
like, what,
Yeah.
thousands of years, right? From that one shot to this one, we just moved like the entire human evolution. Just happened
Right.
in 1 second. Yeah.
So this thread of tweets that I found I'm going to sound smarter than I am, because this
please
was
do.
not my this was not my thought. I would never have come up with this. I'm just reciting the info that I saw. But so that like that bone going up was like the first weapon, right?
Yeah.
And then the spaceship is like a nuclear bomb. So you get the first weapon to the other end of the spectrum with the ultimate weapon with that. So that was, I never would have thought of that looking at it, watching it. I would more like Lee. I just like, oh, well, that's really cool.
Oh,
Like looking,
that's
but
fucking cool. Yeah,
I wouldn't have had a deep thought on it.
You can tell. Yeah, you can tell there's like symbolism behind everything in the movie, but it like I couldn't come up with that at any point. Like, okay, yeah, just a bone, cool. It's a cool cut.
No, me neither.
There's probably some
Was there
symbolism there,
any,
but I'm not gonna bother
symbolism?
actually decoding it. It's just a cool cut.
No. Not
Oh,
about
yeah,
that spaceship. But was there any symbolism in this that Discovery spaceship, the one that goes to Jupiter? Did anything in your Twitter thread mention that? No, you guys
Not that I remember.
never had any thought
Maybe.
cross your mind when you saw that the Discovery spaceship going to Jupiter?
Did it look
No?
like a dick? I don't know.
No.
I don't remember.
It looked like, I don't know. I mean, okay, fine. I'm as usual. I have all these thoughts, so it looked like a sperm cell to me. No, none of you thought of that. The
You guys are like
I don't think it's
way too far ahead of me.
Doesn't
I was
matter,
just like
let's go.
looking at pretty pictures. I have no idea what you're saying. Like that makes sense. Sure, that,
No, it
that
was
makes
just
absolutely
it was
makes
a
sense.
long, slow,
But
beautiful shot, right?
I was
Yeah, it
thinking,
was great.
holy shit, that looks like what the fuck am I looking at? Because it just kept going on, right?
What
There's
do
like
you
this
think?
big bulbous thing in the front, and then
Yeah.
it just kept going, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is that? It didn't cross my mind.
I can see that now. No, right. Yeah, it didn't cross mine either. But now that you mention it, I'm like, if I ever watch that movie again, that's going to be my thought.
Thanks, Mora.
I don't think you have it in you for third watch. Do you?
You need more alcohol
So,
than this for that, for sure.
There was, I don't know if you guys have anything else in the initial sequence. There is still the Cold War influences, right? When this movie was made.
Mhm. It's
So,
very space racy. It's
so
like,
you
yeah, very, yeah.
And that guy, the one who goes to the moon, Haywood Floyd, I think Haywood Floyd,
Mhm.
he comes back actually at the end. He's one of the few people who talks to Dave.
Yes. Right, yeah.
Oh, there are quite a few differences between the book and the movie. So Hal basically actually murders this guy, Frank, and it looks. Did you guys notice that it looked really odd that the spaceport is just floating in space and this guy is just floating around trying to repair
Yeah.
it? Like there are no tethers, there
Yeah,
are no
yeah,
ropes.
yeah,
It's all
yeah,
there in
yeah.
the book. I don't know why the
Yeah,
movie.
I noticed that. I
It
noticed
makes
that. I'm
so
like,
much
what the
sense
fuck?
when you
Okay.
read it.
Either they stopped in midair and like they have to boost again, or this guy is moving at the speed of light along with the spaceship to maintain like this frame of reference.
No, it's actually he nicely anchors the pod and tethers himself to it and then starts repairing. So what Hal does is that removes the tether and is like, because smashes him and then he's pulled away into space. And so actually it's like a ragdoll being dragged behind the spaceport. The
Right.
book has a wonderful visual of this guy just going up, and the space whatever the suit is like deflated, so that he's not alive.
Right.
It is much more chilling, I feel, the book. But did you guys notice all the breathing sounds? All the
God, yes.
out of
And he wasn't even
wasn't
breathing.
it
Like
good?
he didn't make breathing noise. Like, didn't make noises or like motions to breathe. Like it sounded very like harsh mouth breathing, and he was just like calm completely. He wasn't breathing at all.
Oh no! I thought that was like the pressurized breathing sounds. Like, isn't that how it would sound?
It
Like, if
could
you were
very
in a
well be, but
pressurized
like
state?
what I mean is like I noticed like the contrast because like there was very harsh breathing sound, and the guy was just like completely calm. He wasn't moving at all.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, hang on.
And then it suddenly stops. So that was good. Like, so
Hal 9000. I thought,
Yeah.
Looking at it, I just thought he looked like a Ring doorbell.
maybe he was
Yeah.
the inspiration. Yeah, who knows?
But it said another thing that I came across was that was kind of a nod to the Cyclops from the Odyssey. Just the
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I noticed that too. Yeah.
hmm That's good. Yeah. But
I
you
wish I
know
would have been
what?
smart enough to think of these things on my own. But
No, no. You know what? You should not reveal your sources. You should just say, "I thought about the
Yeah.
movie, and I thought about Odyssey, and I noticed." See?
Okay.
yeah, but
So
then when you ask a
one
follow-up
thing,
question, I'm going to be like, I don't know.
one thing that I actually noticed in the movie and didn't pay any attention to, but apparently it might be important, is when they're playing chess, when Frank and Hal are playing chess, and like Hal goes, "Okay, this is fourth mate." He's not denoting the correct moves. The moves he says are not possible on the board. Like it's still mate, yes, but what he says doesn't actually happen. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, whatever. Hal's crazy, but apparently that's an actually important detail in the movie. And it's just like it points to Hal's programming that he needs to lose
Yes.
more often to be competitive
He needs to
or something.
lose 50% of all
And
games. Yeah.
it's not mentioned in the movie, so I had no idea.
Huh.
No, Hal, for the sake of to keep up the crew morale, it's supposed to like lose 50%
Yeah.
of all games it plays.
Yeah, he does mention that he needs to
And
be
it's a
like
nice
he's
subtle shift,
programmed in such a
actually.
way to be approachable. Hmm.
Yeah, he does mention that, right? Like there is emotion in his voice so that we can talk to him.
Yeah.
And there's a nice subtle way in the book where it initially starts out as it, the sixth crew member is it, and then slowly it becomes he. So they start referring to Hal as he. So it's a nice. I don't know. The book is really excellently written, even though it has all these huge, long, extremely slow descriptions of how the spaceship looks and how Velcro works and all that. But it's really nice. The whole grip shoes and all that. Yeah, that's all slowly, nicely
Yeah.
described.
Oh
When
god.
the
Oh god.
stewardess walks.
Oh god.
Wasn't that good? Wasn't that really good?
Oh god. That was like okay. That was
was
like
cool.
unsettling as fuck. But yeah, it was neat. But like, holy shit,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
very, very unsettled by the whole thing because it's like '68, right? It's before the Apollo mission even landed.
Clips. Yeah,
What clips?
exactly before that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was before like the
Sorry?
Apollo mission even landed. So like this is very, this is reimagined, right? This is how a visionary at the peak of the space race would view space exploration like 50 years, 100 years into the future. And okay, we can look with hindsight and say, oh yeah, he's wrong. But also, it's just something very unsettling about the tech that they have. The Velcro, of like how they walk up walls. I'm like, how the fuck is she doing that? Now that you mentioned Velcro, yeah, it's pretty obvious to add to it.
Oh, you did not think that was Velcro. Okay.
I didn't.
then you look
I
at all the
lying.
other
I'm telling you, I
stuff
just
in
like
there.
okay. They're just okay. I was trying to figure out like some physics way. Like, are they pressurizing the room? Are they like adding artificial gravity? What the fuck's going on? I didn't think Velcro. No.
Did you notice how exactly gravity was created in that spaceship? Derek, I'm sure you know this. Your Twitter thread would
I
have told
didn't
you.
notice a lot of things. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
I'm not sure if I
think
remember.
of the initial sequence. How do you see the Frank guy? How is he introduced inside Discovery? What is he doing? There's a nice, beautiful shot of camera just following him as
He's walking.
What is he
Yeah,
doing?
isn't he? Yeah, he's running around. Yeah, he's
It's a
exercising.
centrifuge. That's what is creating the gravity.
I was thinking of okay,
that's
good
why they
point. Yeah,
have
I was thinking like
quarters
it has
there,
to rotate along
and
with
that's
him,
why when they
otherwise
go
it's gonna
to the-
fall off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in between, and that's why they're
Again,
able to
things
eat
that-
food which is not like liquid and straws and all that. They're able to like pick food like, with a spoon and fork and all that.
Right.
That's because of the
right.
mild gravity. It's all
So-
neatly
Right.
described in the book. So I'm going
That's-
to, I win this one.
That centrifuge, he had that thing built at apparently that was like a pretty big
Yeah.
deal, and it cost like $750,000
Mhm.
to build. And I was curious what that would be in like today's money, and it would be like $6.5 million
Oh,
US dollars.
for one
Wow.
piece, which lasts what, half an hour in the movie? Less than an hour.
I don't know. I don't know how many shots it was in, but it was like I think it said it was like 36 feet in diameter, so it's pretty big.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
it
but
probably says a lot about how
they
confusing the
couldn't have
movie was.
faked
That
it.
like, yeah. I mean, absolutely not. There's no effects to fake that. You'd have to use rope, but you can't do all the tricks that like they do with like just ropes and then editing.
yeah.
So yeah, like I was thinking, like he has to be. This has to be rotating along with him for him to stay on, And then I just didn't think centrifuge at all. I was like, yeah, whatever. Just they're bullshitting it. It's fake science, whatever. No, that does make sense. That does make quite a bit of sense, actually.
I think even all the things in expanse and all that, there are lots of artificial gravity things, which all
Yeah, it should be noted, by the way, that I don't read much sci-fi, so like these are all new concepts to me. I'm like, okay, they're just gonna hand wave it away. It doesn't matter. But no, they actually go into the details, and that's neat. It might be a bit, obvious to sci-fi fans, but to me, it's like it's that extra mile. It's like it's neat. It's neat.
No, Derek hasn't reached that part yet. But in Malazan, you do have some zero gravity and zero gravity stuff. It exists in Malazan. So at there, it's just fantasy, right? So you don't have to explain it. You can just say, Lee, why are you making faces? I think it comes in House of Chains or Bone Hunters, one of those.
Well, what about?
I honestly don't remember.
I mean,
I'm guessing.
I guess it's not
like Moonspawn, exactly like Moonspawn. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's floating, but yeah, it's just doing its thing.
If it was explained, you would call this as a sci-fi series, right? So because we just say magic, it's fantasy.
It's handwave.
You don't need to know how it works. Just what it does.
They have something and like magic, so don't worry about it. Yeah. But here, no. Yeah, I mean, centrifuge makes a lot of sense, and I should have thought of it, and I didn't, and now I feel stupid. So the story of my life with this movie.
One of us has to be the casual watcher, right? Casual viewer.
Look at all the other tech though in the movie that when the movie came out in the mid to late 60s, they had tablets in there, and those things didn't exist then, but they're all over the place now. The facial scanners and stuff like that, stuff that they at the time of this movie when you're making it, you're probably like, oh man, that's so far out there, and now it's just. I mean, your phone can recognize your face now.
Wasn't it
exactly.
so cute? Yeah.
Oh, the video calling. Yeah. Like before that, it was the extremely formal vocal identification. Please state your full name, your nationality, your Christian name in a specific order, and where you're going. And this it hits that nice stride of Uncanny Valley, which is very much so present with Hal later, even though he's not a guy. His voice is unsettling on its own. But that was just you can tell something is off by how formal everyone's speaking.
No, I
Thank you for completing the voice identification program. You were cleared for, whatever. And it's it's just that little monkey part of your brain. It just goes off hang the fuck up. Something's not right here.
No, you know what? It's 2023 now, and even now, you can't clear any sort of transit place that easily. Nowhere can you just go, state your name in a particular order and say, yes, you're cleared, please move. No, we still go through so much shit.
Passport or whatever. Yeah.
So we haven't reached that technology yet, right? So I think that's where the Uncanny Valley things. Right, and then. Anything else? The printout bit when it first says that there is some failure with the sensor, and then he actually orders Hal to give him a printout because he has to have the feel of a hard copy in his hand or something. It's which makes sense. I mean, I still work with some dinosaurs who need a printout of everything they do. Just a soft copy doesn't work for them. So it makes sense. Anything else? Anything else you guys want to bring up?
Let me find my source of information here quick.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Quick, got the clip. Let's pretend no, guys. Derek is thinking. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm thinking. I'm deep in thought here. It might be a minute or two.
Okay, and do you know why Hal? Sorry, do you know why Hal went renegade like that? Do you know what happened?
He was ordered to, no? His whole programming is don't tell the pilots of the mission, and
it conflicted with
it goes against his code of conduct. Yeah, he's never wrong, but he has to be wrong because of his programming.
You've not watched any of the. Sorry. I was interrupting. Have you not watched any of the robot movies? Asimov's stories?
Not Asimov, no.
Nothing?
The closest thing to sci-fi I've read is Jules Verne. and that's 150
Okay.
years before
It's,
Kubrick.
it's
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
no robots, no space, no
No.
nothing.
So, do
Yeah.
you have any idea about the first law of robotics and the second law of in sci-fi?
Yeah. I know the Asimov laws. Yeah.
You know that, yeah. Yeah, so that's what happened with Hal. It had to obey the order, but somehow first law got weakened, I believe. And actually, in the book, he spends quite a few weeks alone after Frank dies. By protocol, he's supposed to wake up one of the others, and he asks for manual control. It's nothing to do with the pod doors and all that. He doesn't go and retrieve the body or anything. The body's gone. So the conflict between him and Hal is when he starts asking for manual control to wake up one of the three sleeping guys, Kaminsky or someone. And Hal refuses to hand over control. And then they all die, and then he kills Hal, and he's all alone for quite a few weeks. And that's when Haywood Floyd calls him, keeps talking to him, and all that. So, yeah. Go on, Derek. You looked up something.
I don't know how to follow that up.
No, you were looking up something. I was just filling dead air. That's all.
He was thinking about something. Excuse you.
So
Yeah.
just
Apologies.
some of the stuff. So the floating pen towards the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
I guess they did that with double-sided sticky tape, which had just like recently been invented, which is kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
So they like stuck it to a piece of glass, and that's how they made it look like it was floating.
That is so good. Yeah. Like I didn't even stop to think of how they've shot that scene.
Yeah. You don't really stop to think of it like 55 years after the fact, and then you're like, "Holy shit, this was in 1968." Like, oh.
But you just think like now they would just CG that now, right? I mean, they wouldn't bother with
He wouldn't even
something
blink
like
at
that.
a scene like that, right? It's so commonplace. I mean, I'm sure we can add a floating pen into this video. What we're taking now, with no effort.
Easily.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to find the one. So the guy who was the voice for Hal, I guess he came in like after the fact, so he never met the rest of the cast or crew or anything. And apparently he recorded his lines barefoot with his feet resting on pillows, so to soften his voice. Apparently, I imagine that's how Lee and Justin watched this movie. Also, they just had their feet on pillows.
I wish we could do these recordings like that. Like I should grab some pillows.
Yeah.
So that all our voices sound softened. But he was very good. Whoever did this voice, he was really good.
Yeah, it said he was was the narrator for some nature documentary or something, and that's how they found him.
Okay.
The costume, the costumes for the apes were mimes in ape costumes, and apparently the like first version of the costume was not very hairy, and I guess Kubrick was threatened with an X rating for the film, so they had to like change.
Because the book did not make them seem like that ape type of people. It was more like Neanderthals and like like regular.
Which they're supposed to be, right? Because like the
ape
subtitle is like Dawn of Man. Yeah. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and we're still in the ape phase, right?
I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting then to get the contrast from the book.
It's a very quick read. You guys can read it like in 2 days or something.
Oh, it's not that long.
Oh, it's very small, and
the movie,
most of it is descriptions.
The movie will probably take me longer.
Yeah, I don't know. The audiobook will tell you how long. Yeah, go on.
I'm sorry, Mora. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that the audiobook will tell us exactly how long. We get a better estimate of how long the book is. That's all. Yeah.
The song that Hal is singing as he or it is shut down.
Yeah.
Daisy Bell. So that was not chosen just randomly. Do you have any idea why that song might have been chosen? Maybe
I
I don't know if it would have
I know there's
No,
like
there's no song in the
it's
book.
the same thing with like everything else. There's like something to go with it behind it. But all I remember is the cadence of the voice was getting deeper and deeper as it went, and it's just like my hair was standing on end. So I don't know.
Oh.
If it's important, it is great. If it's not, it still unsettled the fuck out of me. So, you know.
So it was the first ever recording of a computer singing a song, and it was that song, the Daisy Bell,
Oh.
which it was
Right.
some probably IBM computer that was, the size of a house, but it was in 1961 that was done.
Yeah. No,
So
but
kind of interesting.
I don't. Did you guys like that scene? I did not. I thought it was okay when he starts regressing. Hal becomes.
Oh,
Childish.
it was. There was something very unsettling about it because Dave is very machine-like in that whole scene, right? All you can hear is his breathing. His face barely moves, and only at the very end when it's like, "Do you want me to sing you a song?" I'm like, yeah, sure, I want to hear the song. That's the only time when he snaps out of it. Everything else until that point, he's just like unscrewing everything, and Hal is just going like, "I'm scared, Dave."
Stop.
It just fucking burns into your soul. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck am I watching? And that's when it gripped me again. It was like I was
You almost
losing
feel
all
a
of it.
little bad for Hal.
Yeah,
that's what I'm asking. Did you guys feel bad because
a little.
Kind of.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if the whole thing premise that he went insane because his programming would contradict his morals, the first law and everything, and then he just lost his shit. I guess his bolts. I don't know.
you guys are do you guys think that he had like real emotion? Like, did he have real motivation to do this?
I don't know. I mean, you think about it, it's like a computer. How could it? And even like now, you see all this stuff with like AI coming out, like this Chat GP and crap like that, and even like just AI generated art and everything. I don't know. Like
He certainly
feel
acts
bad,
like he does.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what Dave answers, right? He certainly acts like he has emotions. That's what Dave says.
And that's fascinating. That's like really well written. It's just
you guys
he's
haven't
anxious.
seen Westworld?
He's paranoid. What?
Westworld?
Again, no sci-fi connection. So
the first season was really good.
Yeah.
The second season I had a hard time. I don't know if I've seen the third season.
Third has, I think, the guy from Breaking Bad. You not seen him?
Which one? Which guy?
The younger guy, Pinkman, Jesse Pinkman.
Oh, Aaron Paul. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the third season.
No, it's that famous line from there. Like, if you can't tell the difference, does it matter? So, if you can't tell whether Hal has real emotions or fake emotions, does it matter?
It's a good.
I just like the scene a lot. I mean, it's a good line, so you can't really say. Not with this type of advanced AI, right?
Yeah, and that's like
independent
I think
decisions.
Yeah.
So, nothing else.
For how much I like otherwise bash this movie for being like self-indulgent as fuck, because it is, especially like the long shots of just look how good our cinematography is, which, okay, for 1968 it's really good. It's like top-notch, state-of-the-art, but it's just so drawn out of just establishing shots, which, okay, yeah, it's Kubrick. He's gonna do that.
I mean, don't you have the same arguments for Malazan also?
I do.
Why do we need to get all
like
these extra soldiers, and why do we need so many POVs?
Yep.
It's a choice. Yeah.
It's a choice, and you know what? It's a choice I can definitely get behind, because when it works, it really works. You can tell, even if I don't agree with it, even if I don't necessarily like it, you can tell there's purpose behind each shot. Okay, maybe not every shot, but you can tell that like these frames matter. They weren't just chosen. Okay, you know what? Let's just sprinkle a little bit of this and a little bit of that, because every frame would cost a lot of money, right? That shot isn't easy to get in 1968.
Yeah. No,
What
the
did you
whole,
guys think of?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the where he shoots him. He's locked outside the ship, right? And he breaks back in,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and he shoots him. He's in the airlock, but he doesn't have a helmet on. Like,
Yeah.
why? Like his head should just explode. But
No, I think it
you
takes
just.
like 30 seconds or something. There is a small leeway before,
Oh, is there really?
before the absolute cold of space like
Mhm.
affects you or something. There is a small, tiny window, and that's what he uses. In the book, I think I don't think he's exposed to vacuum as such. He's exposed to like lack of oxygen. Like the whole ship
Oh,
starts deteriorating, so there is no oxygen. Like the airlock is open, and he finds an emergency hatch to hide in, like a broom closet, like a tiny closet, and there he uses oxygen, and then you know he like chooses a correct time, like within 30 seconds I have to reach that spot or something like that. So it's not vacuum in the book, so it's just airlessness.
Yeah, if it was
Gotcha.
vacuum, he wouldn't be alive. So
No, whatever. It took him like what, 1 second, 2 seconds to just jump through
he
the
gets
hatch,
launched
right?
in and does a header into the door, and then flops
yeah,
back.
Oh, the head
Hits the button
injury
to close it.
that was quite horrific, right? Like, how did you live through that? He bangs his head, right?
Yeah, but
Right.
I liked how it was. It was just silent there. You didn't hear anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I noticed that.
That is
Like,
good.
there's no, yeah. And it's like throughout the movie where it stops. There's no dialogue. You can like see people talking, but nothing is being heard.
Because it's
And
not
just-
important. That was the
Yeah,
era of
yeah, I
sci-fi
know.
where people are not important.
It was really alien to me because I've not seen anything like that. Like established shots. Some dude is taking pictures, and then you just have like three guys talking, and you can see their mouths move. You can see them react, and nothing happens until like the photographer dude comes in. Okay, I'm done here. You can actually talk now. I'm leaving. Which may be a stand-in for the director. Like, okay, you guys can actually go on with the scene now. I'm done with the preparations. I don't know if that's important. I don't know.
No, it's the
But
sci-fi of that time, right? Like these guys, Clark, Asimov, and all that. It
Mhm.
was never about the characters. It was only about the ideas.
Mhm.
So even Foundation, it's such a tiny book. It jumps through like centuries and different characters, like in a second. Like you start somewhere, and then you're like 100 years in the future, and there's a new group of people, and then one more time you jump another 200 years in the future. It's like that. It's not about the people. They're, and that's what the movie is trying to show, right? Like what these guys are talking is just mundane stuff. Like let's hide this news, let's keep it secret and do this secret mission, and it doesn't matter exactly what exactly they're talking.
I would really like to read the Foundation books. I've watched the Apple TV show for Foundation,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you've seen it. It was really
I saw
good,
it.
but
Yeah,
I've heard it's quite different from the books, which
very
I'm
different.
sure
Yeah.
and not surprised. But I really like the show a lot. I don't know if they're going to do any more of
Was
that or if
that
it was just a one-off.
was that Emperor guy your favorite? I think he's called Lee Pace, the one who comes in threes. There was an emperor,
Oh yeah,
three generations of the guy.
yeah, like
Were you a huge
basically
fan of that guy?
the young one, the old one, and then the one in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a year or two since I watched it.
Yeah.
But I did like him, and the guy who played him did a really good job.
Very good. He's very good. But that character is not from the book. There is no
Oh,
such
really?
nothing
Not
like that.
not at all.
Not at all. No.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there are some emperor once in a while here and there, but none of these DNA cloned three generation of emperor or anything like that. Sorry, Lee. Sorry. This is like
No,
yeah,
I have
sorry.
no idea what you're talking about, but that sounds fucking fascinating, and I just want to watch the shit out of that now.
Foundation is like one of my first favorite books which I ever read.
No, yeah, you've
Like,
talked about
after
Foundation, the book,
this-
before, and obviously I've heard of Asimov because I'm not, quite that daft or illiterate. But yeah, I didn't know I had a TV show, so let's
the
talk
TV
about like
show-
DNA cloning and like threes, and that sounds like right up my alley. So I might check that out.
It is
No,
a
the
pretty
TV
fascinating show.
is really good. because the Foundation book doesn't have any female characters, but all these names.
I knew
Yeah,
that too.
yeah. I
knew
mean,
that.
all these names are like really nice, right? Like, and they can be male or female; it doesn't matter. So they just took half the names and made them all female, and I think that's a really nice choice. Like, who is that second lady? Like, okay, yeah, we'll just go into spoilers there. Let's not bother. But Foundation, the book is very good, and I think the TV show just went one step ahead. It was much better.
Yeah,
Sick.
I would definitely recommend it. And yeah, I'd like to check out the books at some point.
It's extreme. It's so tiny, right? Like the first book is. I think the first season covers only the first book, is what I thought, because I didn't finish first season. My trial period, I think, ran out or something, so I didn't finish the season.
You're gonna have to make a new email address so you can finish it.
No, it's like how many streaming shows do I need, right? It's Apple. I have nothing else to see on Apple. So
Ted Lasso's pretty good.
which one?
Ted
Ted
Lasso.
Lasso. I keep hearing, and I think you are the one who keeps tweeting that. Probably.
Yeah, once in a while maybe. It is
Yeah.
good. It's a wholesome show.
Okay. So maybe if I cancel one of the other services, then I can go to Apple. Maybe.
There's
I'm gonna cut to the chase and like get to the difficult questions. So
You have
No,
difficult
the
questions for
ending.
us.
oh boy.
the
Yeah, you
ending
want
of
to-
like okay,
Yeah,
you
guys tell me
so
what you thought, and then I will tell you. the
broad
correct-
strokes, right?
Yeah.
Very broad strokes because of how the whole movie is structured. And Mora pointed out to me that like you stare at the black screen at the beginning because like the apes at the prologue stare at the black thing that comes and like okay now I feel stupid
Oh,
things.
interesting. Okay.
Which okay,
like that.
you got me there. Okay, you got me good. But you start like the dawn of man, and then like the pinnacle of man, and then the guy goes through all his life because he finds himself old, and then he dies or something, and then is reborn. So that's like I'm guessing the theme here of the evolution of mankind from start to finish to then potential rebirth. And that's about as far as I got because I
That is the
didn't
thing.
actually think about it any further.
Sorry, just one more follow up for that. If that's what you think, like this man is just getting reborn or something, who put those monoliths in the first place? How did they come?
Who the fuck knows?
Aliens.
Yeah, aliens. True.
I like noticed some Roswell like shapes / alien creatures in like the acid trip sequence.
Oh, was there
Or-
something
and
like
when,
that? I didn't know.
I don't know.
Probably- I
don't
went
know.
into a daze or something. I did not know.
And like like Floyd talks about like intelligent life off Earth and stuff like that. So I'm guessing like aliens is the answer, but
Lee
I don't
was
know why that's
taking
important.
LSD during this movie, and that's where he's
could
getting
be,
all that from.
could be.
it's a space trip. Maybe they had a supply, right? Like, what would they do in space? They need stuff.
Yeah, we're just gonna do drugs.
I don't know. Maybe NASA in the alternate version of 2001 NASA, maybe they had all these things. Maybe they provided legal drugs.
Could be.
Yeah.
Who
What do
knows?
you think, Derek, of the ending? The whole Stargate sequence, it's called.
I don't know. I was really confused by it. I didn't understand it. And then you got the baby looking at the Earth.
And it just like slowly turns and looks at you like, holy shit, hang on, what the fuck is
At
that?
the end, yeah.
It's like,
Over
oh my
my
god,
head.
it's just
Creepy, yeah.
So since you've read the book, Mora, would you like to fill us in on the details that we missed?
Sure.
How
So
was
the thing is,
it even described in the book?
in the book, it just goes like the first monolith we see with the apes. The monolith has a specific ratio, like the width, thickness, and height. It's like 1:4:9. The first three square numbers or something, and so it keeps getting increased in size like by magnitudes. So like on Earth, you get like 6 feet tall or something, or 10 feet tall or something, and on the moon thing was actually, it was like buried deep under the surface, and it's not like Frank the Floyd guy touches it and then it starts giving signals. It's not that. It's when it is exposed to sunlight, right? So human evolution had to reach the spot where they were able to reach moon and find this magnetic pulsing
And, okay, right.
and dig it out, and thus expose it to
Right.
sunlight, and that's when it starts shooting out the radio signals. It just shoots out once or something, and it is headed
Yeah.
straight to Jupiter.
Mhm.
And do you know the ring around Saturn's rings are the prominent ones, right? Jupiter doesn't have prominent rings. It is seen only under a microscope or not microscope, sorry, under a telescope
Telescope.
or
Yeah.
something. So those ring formation, the time when it started, like it was probably a moon which was shattered and formed the ring. That time correlates with human evolution apparently. Like the number of million years ago that ring formed was
That's
the
fucking
same as
cool. Okay.
the book is extremely good, you guys.
All right. Okay. That is like
Yeah, so the signal
okay.
is headed straight to Jupiter, and that's why the Discovery mission happens. And he's supposed to reach Jupiter and check out if there is another, monolith in that place. So he goes there. He finds a giant monolith in on the surface of Jupiter. It's not like floating in the air or something like this. So it's on
Wasn't it on one
Jupiter.
of the moons of Jupiter?
No, no. Oh, yeah. Sorry, on the one of the moons. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
Jupiter doesn't have a surface. Yeah, Jupiter's a
Yeah,
gas
yeah,
giant.
yeah. I'm sorry. So one of the
That's
moons, one of the
why I was
smaller
like,
moons. Huh?
yeah, they talked about Jupiter. Yeah, sorry, besides the point.
So yeah, so he goes there, and actually when he starts, like when he reaches the top, because the thickness is so huge that he can actually explore it from his spaceship, and all of a sudden you have this feeling, right, like a 3D sculpture with sometimes you don't know whether it is turned inward or turned outward. So he has that type of feeling when he sees the surface, like he thinks it is a 3D outcropping, and all of a sudden the perspective changes and he thinks it's like something in depth, like he can just fly through it. So instead of landing on top of it, he flows through it. And one of the chapters just starts off saying, "Let's call it, not let's just call it Stargate." The whole that monolith is just called Stargate. So he goes through the Stargate, and there is like a, how there was a. Am I talking too much? If you guys don't follow or something, just stop me. So you know how there was a space
No, no, no,
station
no,
when
no.
he went
Please
to the
go on.
moon?
Like this is actually fascinating.
So there is a space station where he stops and then takes another shuttle to go to the moon. So the same thing happens here. When he goes through this, he goes to like this cosmic junkyard type of place, and there, the whole thing is like inverse. Instead of black space with white stars, it's like white space with black dots. Like space has been turned inside out, and that's where he reaches. I mean, something grips his spaceship and takes him all the way there. Am I spoiling everything? If you guys wanted to read,
This is fucking
No.
trippy. Okay, I thought the movie
it's
was trippy, but this is
amazing.
like next level.
So he goes through this cosmic junkyard, and I think he's taken through one of the holes or something, and he reaches another planet, and he immediately knows that this is hardly the Milky Way, like, or rather, he's somewhere in the core of the Milky Way or something. And he reaches this planet. He's just stopped inside a bubble or something, and this hotel room comes even in the book, like this exact typical average hotel room. He goes inside, and everything is there, but most of it doesn't work. Like the doors of the closet door doesn't open and things like that. So it's all just at a superficial level. It's a construct made for him to feel comfortable, and he gets food and drink and all that, and he just stays there for a while. I mean, for one day, and then he goes to sleep and basically dies. And this is when we find out that the rest of it is all aliens. Like millions and millions and millions of years ago, there were aliens who were so advanced that at one point they gave up their body, like they became like robot type of creatures who just needed metal and non-organic matter to live. And then they kept evolving and evolving, and then they finally didn't need even like objects. They didn't need solid material. They just became energy. So they could just live in the energy lattice of the universe and form constructs if they want. They can do whatever they want basically. So I don't know. It's like one interpretation of God, I believe, which that's the way I thought. So this type of alien creatures are the ones who are taking care of him. And once he goes to sleep and sort of dies, he reaches the next step in his evolution, and he chooses to remain in this body of a baby for whatever reason, because he feels that he's still like learning stuff or something. So he can take any form he wants. Dave's consciousness, he just chooses to be this baby, and it just ends there, and that's it. Yeah,
I
at
don't
least it
think
made
you
more
ever
sense
would have
than
got
what
that just from the movie.
Yeah,
you
no.
can't. You
The
just
movie just
can't.
jump
No.
cuts between
Yeah.
scenes. Like,
Yeah. It was
so what
trippy.
I
It had
thought
the
was like,
essence of it. Yeah.
yeah, what I was thinking is like, have you seen like Interstellar and stuff, which goes much more into depth than this, like time dilation and how that affects people. So like because he goes like super fucking quickly through like a galaxy's worth of places. Due to time dilation, he just grows super fucking old, like super quickly. And he's like old-ish, he's like a few years into his life, while the universe has moved on like 1,000, 1,000,000 years, however much. And then he enters like this room, which is just completely pulled out of like his imagination, I guess. I don't fucking know where he would find him like that. Obviously, like aliens would be some explanation because there's the monolith there at the end, but God, and especially like the Star Child things. No. Like he just dies. There's the monolith, and then it cuts to the Star Child. I had no fucking. That's when I just checked out mentally. Like, okay, yeah, he's dead now. He reaches out, he just dies. Okay, sick. No clue. So, yeah, my idea of like time dilation, hand wave, something, end. Didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
I don't think I ever would have.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I never would have put together that the baby was, him after he died at the end.
Oh.
I wouldn't have pieced that together.
Oh, you guys just thought some random baby just popped up. Like
I thought
no
it was
idea
like
what it meant.
another alien.
I don't know.
Like we had monoliths already.
Yeah. No, it's just I don't know. The book does a good job. Like even with it was kind of confusing, but the movie got the feel of it. The
movie's more confusing.
Right? Yeah, it is. Which is a bit rare, I think. Like a movie being more confusing rather than making things simpler.
I was thinking about this.
Harder, right?
I was thinking about this. Like, yeah. There's nary a book which I read and like, hang on, what the fuck did I just read? But like, there's even rarer a movie which I watch and like, what the fuck did I just watch? And like, this movie was that movie. Right? Like, I had no clue what I just witnessed. I just spent 2.5 hours looking at the screen, processing information, and I concluded that I didn't understand anything, and I need to watch it again. With a book, like, okay, I get that.
Oh, you're going to watch it again?
Well, probably not. Not after you explain the book, because now it actually makes sense for a change. But I was going to probably watch it again, if not, like, now I can just read the book, right? Because there's no need to watch the movie.
You should read the book. Like, it's so. The audiobook says like 6.5 hours or something. So, not too hard.
Right.
Not too huge. And you can zip through the descriptions. It's just like pages and pages of how the centrifuge looks and how the pods are placed and how they're sleeping inside and all those things. It just takes so much time.
Like, yeah, but like with regards to that, you can
tell.
Can
we let Derek talk for a bit?
Yeah.
Lee?
I'm so sorry. I am so very sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm so sorry.
Enough. Yeah.
No, you're good. I don't really have a ton more else to say on it.
Sorry. Yeah.
Have you thought of anything new?
Have I thought of anything new?
Yeah. Has the source dried up? The the endless source of all knowledge.
No, I've tapped out of that.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, that's what you're asking.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you're saying something.
So, but
about the movie.
Especially like the hotel scene, you could tell that like everything felt deliberate, like because you get you don't get like a POV, you get a bird's eye view of the whole thing, where you sit from above and then he approaches everything, and then like it jump cuts rapidly. But you could tell like, there's like statues and like the color palette and the tiling and all of that. You can feel it's deliberate. I just wouldn't be able to tell you why. Like, what is it trying to do? What is it trying to show me? Don't know. But
honestly, if
it definitely, yeah. Go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say that if I hadn't read the book after seeing the movie, I probably would have gone back and read it because, if there is a book available and the movie is that confusing, I mean, that's something I would have done without thinking. I would have just picked it up and started reading because it is so confusing.
just to get that clarification on things. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God. I mean, thank God there's something out there, because I don't think it gets across quite how confused this movie leaves you if you haven't actually watched it for the first time. It's an experience.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
what it
yeah,
is.
that's what I'm trying to like guess. Probably Derek, you've seen this twice, but Lee,
Yep.
I can't imagine what he went through today. seeing
It's
that
an
movie.
experience. Honestly, it's just like I'm watching it. I feel like I should be picking this up, but I just don't. I just don't get it. It's like he's trying to show me something. I don't know what it is. Like, Hal is cool. Hal is interesting. Hal is like nicely written. He's unsettling. He's cool. What is all this shit about like establishing shots and like monoliths and like the very weird and bizarre sound design, which we haven't talked about at all?
Cool.
Like, the
Do you know
screeching.
about the first monolith in the book?
Mhm.
It's really cool because what it does is it picks up one by one, like it concentrates on each member and like programs their brain to do some stuff. So the main guy, the Moonwatcher guy, like that character has a name, Moonwatcher. So this guy, it's the monolith trains him to like throw stones with accuracy, right? So it shows him a moving target and all that, and he just gets this instinct to pick up a stone and start hitting it, and that's when he starts like killing these animals around him. I think he starts with a boar or something, and that's how it begins. It's. I was trying to make some other point here. I forgot.
I don't think I can like quite convey the feeling of having your mind blown repeatedly by information from the book, which should have probably been available in the movie, because the movie's 2.5 hours long. God damn it! It's like this, like 90 minutes, like or trying. No, this movie has like 180 minutes to show you. No, 150 minutes to show you this, and it spends 7 of that with a black screen. God damn it, Stanley!
No, but I was trying to say something about that. So the monolith has this. It has its work to do. I think probably we should tell Justin to just pick up the book. He might enjoy it more.
I mean, yeah, probably.
I don't know if you could convince him to pick up the book.
Yeah.
I don't think if you've slept during a movie, you're gonna be picking up the book anytime soon.
So maybe once he watches this, he might. So Justin, if you
Yeah.
watch
Hope.
it, pick up the book.
I mean, I know I
Let me-
probably will.
Let me.
is it?
I'm
He's
gonna
good.
get. Let me look back in our conversation here because I'm pretty sure. I think he just said he fucking hated it, basically.
Oh,
On
God.
top of the stuff that.
We should have had him. We should have had this dissenting voice here, right? Like we're all like neutral about the movie, on neutral to positive. He would have been
Oh,
good. A nice
I don't know.
negative
Yeah, I don't
voice
know if he
here.
would have had anything positive to say about it.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope
Uh,
he picks whatever next movie we want to watch. And can we just take a minute to acknowledge, because we are both doing read along style podcast right now, you guys and us. And
Yep.
think of the preparation for this one. We watched a movie and we showed up and we're talking. Think of the preparation we do for all our other episodes.
God.
Read
Oh,
them
yeah,
and
that's-
summarize them and think about them.
We've
and, oh my God.
gotten to a point in our book that we're reading that we just decided collectively, both of us, that we're not gonna try and decode the symbolism because it's too advanced. It's too esoteric for us. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like this. It's more fun now because we don't have to sit and like work through complicated symbolism, and just we actually talk about what happened.
And the book does
This-
a nice job of explaining stuff, unlike
Yeah,
all the other
yeah.
books we've been reading. Both of us, both our podcasts. Our books don't
yeah.
explain stuff. So, Clark is a
So
good
this
guy.
was refreshing in that way. Like, I don't have to worry about the symbolism because Mora read a book that explained everything for her. So I just have to wait and listen. It's very refreshing, actually.
a nice change of pace for sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I was like, usually an hour or two before recording, I'll be usually wondering, like, do I have enough notes and do I have enough points to bring up, and do I need to rehearse anything and all that? And today I was just chill.
Here, I
Okay,
just
you
showed
just
up. I'm like,
show
yeah, that was a movie I just watched. Can you please explain it to me? That was basically me today. So I have to say, you both delivered, especially with like the Twitter thread in the book. So, like, I mean, I've said it like a lot of times already, but it's a very interesting feeling of knowing that there's something beneath the hood, but not being able to tell what the fuck it is because it's just not esoteric enough. So being explained to it in a more concrete way than just, okay, here's a bunch of shots stringed one after the other with like some weird music from 200 years ago. But like it's tilted like 2 degrees that way, so that's important too. Like, no, I'm not smart enough to go with this. So this is much better for me. This is how I absorb knowledge. So thank you.
Yeah.
And
I
let
hope
me
Justin gets the same treatment because he probably deserves it, the poor guy.
we're just going to have Justin pick the next one. If we are doing another movie,
Yeah, I agree.
let him pick. And Derek, let these 2 guys come with the research next time. Let's just show up and just talk. Yeah, why don't we let them do some research for once?
That sounds good to me.
I'm game.
Yeah, let's see.
So,
I'll let him know he gets to pick the next one. He actually just texted me and asked if we were still recording.
Oh, can he join in? Can he say hi? No, right? He's outside, I think.
He's
emergency intermission.
He asked if he could hop on or if we were almost done.
Sorry, Derek.
Yes, Justin asked if he could hop on or if we're almost done.
We can. He's always welcome.
Oh, sure.
Let him come.
Yeah, if you can say
Did you
hi.
send an invite to him?
I didn't. Shit.
Oh,
Fuck.
I'll just let him
now I
know.
feel stupid.
Just pause.
Okay, so following this emergency intermission, we're actually joined by Justin this time, so I feel like a bit less stupid when I say his name when he's not actually here. So hello, Justin.
Hello. Thanks for having me on so late.
Yeah, Justin, I'm so glad you could join us. Please tell us your views on the movie.
So yeah.
We already heard it from Derek, but I would like to hear it from you. What did you think
sure.
of the movie?
I actually can do like the best impression of this movie. You all ready?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I
think
will.
we're ready. Oh, that is.
There we go. That's it.
Sounds just like heavy breathing from the movie.
Yeah,
No, I was trying to snore,
you did
Derek.
like it.
I know, Justin.
At what point did you fall asleep? We were wondering.
Oh,
like,
God. I want to say I made it to like 43 minutes in, and then I fell asleep for like a half hour. And then I woke up and I doom scrolled TikTok while it was still going on. So, yeah. I'm
Okay,
I'm
did
wondering,
anything
everyone.
happen
That
to
was
you in the whole movie? Did anything like?
No, I mean, not at all. I just, it reminded me of better things that I've seen. Like like heavy metal. The animated anthology from like the 80s kind of took some elements from 2001: Space Odyssey and made it better, I guess, in my opinion.
No, at least the music. Did you like the music?
I mean, it was enough to fall asleep to, so I'm good. Yeah, it was very relaxing.
You know what I'm realizing? We have 1 hour of recording, which is just shit, and now 2 minutes with Justin. We have made up for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I need. Just a couple of minutes to, let everybody know how great of a movie it is.
Yeah.
You know what?
I don't think we have anything to
I don't
add.
know what
We
to say
can't
now.
countenance this.
I
We
don't
can't
have-
counteract this. This is, we don't have any counter arguments. This is just like definitive, I think.
Well, what are your all's opinions?
You're going to have to
Who's
listen to the
one?
episode,
Hate it.
Justin.
God,
Yeah,
damn,
we got
Oh,
this
seriously?
episode.
Good.
But yeah, like the TLDRs, we didn't hate it.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
We had-
And also, we had
Neutral
Mora explain the
positive.
entire premise of the movie by reading the book. So, by
Oh.
being literate, you can enjoy the movie as well.
No, but
Well,
Justin
maybe.
won't know anything because he slept through the whole thing. Like, what's the point of explaining something he's neither seen nor watched? I mean, not read it. So.
I feel like the way that you all would present the information would be much more entertaining than the movie itself. So, just saying.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Hopefully.
Am I being too critical? Is that what's going on?
No,
I
that's
think
why
you
we're
are being a
here.
bit-
That's why we're here.
That's fair. But, my entire, well, not my entire life, but for the majority of the time that I have spent around movie and comic book nerds, I have a very peculiar taste in movies comparatively. So I've been told quite a bit in my middle to late 20s that, and I quote, "You have a weird taste in movies, Carols." So, yeah.
I guess it's a good thing it was decided you get to pick the next movie we watch then.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. Please go on.
I'm glad that I had time to think about this one. Yeah.
You still have time.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say Problem Child. We're all going to watch Problem Child
What movie
with
is
John
that?
Ritter.
I haven't
We're
no
gonna
idea.
figure it out the
What
hard
is it
way, Mora.
Have you seen it, Lee?
We're gonna learn what that movie is the hard way.
Or are we sticking
God.
with sci-fi because it's kind of a comedy?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Any would do.
Okay.
Do you have a sci-fi pick though?
Do I have a sci-fi pick?
Do you?
Do I now? Do I really?
Yeah, let's watch Heavy Metal.
I have no idea.
I don't even know
Great.
what that is, Justin.
You've
This
never
is
seen
great.
Heavy Metal?
This is going excellently.
1981.
I'm glad that I
Animated?
could provide some late comedic relief.
Is it animated?
Yeah, it's animated.
We're gonna. Well,
Yeah.
that
Are we agreeing to this, or shall we just? Oh, but we said we'll let Justin pick. So
yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll hash out the details and we'll let you know. So
All right.
I don't have
think-
any hope on Lee falling.
I think
through
we don't
this.
have any manner with which to counteract Justin's arguments. I think he's being very definitive. So
I'm
I
open.
tried to convey that a little bit.
No, see, I agree that it was a very sleep-inducing movie because when I felt the same, I thought I should have a nap at the end of it. But it wasn't bad. It was not a bad movie.
It was
It means, like,
cute.
Not how I would describe it.
Not,
Justin.
yeah, exactly. That's not how I would describe it either. But sure.
Okay, so I love explaining what I mean when I say it's cute. So, I guess it goes back to my many failed attempts at picking up mates in bars when I was in my 20s. And the comment that I would get is, "No, you're cute though." So it's kind of like one of those things where it's just like, you're all right.
I'm being nice. Yeah. Okay. All
You're
right.
cute.
Okay.
So,
It was a backhanded comment.
right. Yeah.
So
So,
I don't know if you can ask anything to Justin or this. It's done. I think our conversation is done.
yeah, I think on that note we can just
Almost
end.
nearing 7 minutes.
The movie was cute, and on that note we can just stop. I don't think we have anything more to add. Watch 2001 or do not. Just know that your takeaway from this entire episode should be that the movie was cute. So, thank you very much for watching or listening. Thank you for joining us, Justin and Derek. It has been a delight, even for the limited amount of time
It's
that
been a
Justin was with
pleasure.
us.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he
Glad I
came
could
in
grace with
and
my appearance.
the whole episode just rose up. So thanks,
Yeah,
thanks
well,
for the
thank you
dissenting
guys.
voice because we were all just being nice and neutral about
we were
it.
being too nice, we're being like a bit too kind to the movie.
So I legit crashed the party then, huh?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
A
that's
little
what it
bit.
was. True. Yeah.
We should
Just
roll
the
those
cuteness
here.
about, right?
Oh God. Anyway, yeah, cut the scene, cut the clip. Okay. Well. Thanks everybody. Goodbye. Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye,
you.
y'all.